All right, y'all. I got another one for you. Just pearly things. Once again, talking about the lack of consequences for modern women. Let's get it. This is fair use. Fair use. Shout out to Just Pearly Things.
When I said crazy, what were you?
I look crazy. What? So I would say like
No one heard that. Go on.
Like I literally like contacted him on almost everything, and then just nonstop like calling. Then like basically when he did pick up, I was screaming at him. I was like, "What the fuck do you think you're doing?" Like basically, like I feel like I would never act like that normally. I feel like anytime I act out of character, I would like say I'm acting crazy.
Yeah.
But that is your character then.
You think so?
Yeah, because if it's not in you, it can't come out of you.
I guess.
Ooh. I knew she was not expecting that answer. Dude, this dude right here, this guy here in the purple hoodie, he hit the nail on the head with that one. I'll give him that.
I mean, like, do you not? So do you?
They're all laughing because he's telling the truth.
Not think that if like something were to happen to you, like you can act some sort of way that
like you wouldn't normally act unless you're in that specific situation.
Like your emotions are like to the max, your stress levels to the max. Like that it just pushes you to a certain level, I would say.
I guess you could still say like I acted how I would if I was in that situation. I probably would act like that. Like
like what you said, like maybe you didn't know it was you, like you had it in you until you was.
You found out about yourself that day.
Yeah.
Maybe you realized that. Wow, that's who I am.
Yeah.
I think women get to act crazy.
You think we get to?
You get to act. There's more of a leniency with you acting crazy than men acting crazy. Because when man acts crazy, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
I have dated an emotional man. Like,
but do you think that's because women are seen to be these like emotional creatures?
Yeah, but that's it's one of those double standards, isn't it? Because like I know women that have like smashed people's cars, like done all kinds of crazy shit, and it's like women going crazy. If a man was to smash a woman's car, like people would be like, "Oh my god!"
Immediately go to jail. Like there's no question about it. As soon as the police are called and they get there and they see him in the act doing it, he going to jail. A chick, it depends. It really depends. Sometimes they go to jail, sometimes they don't.
This guy's fucking toxic. He's like, do you know what I mean? Like he'll be getting like looked at in a different way than women would.
Yeah, I agree with that actually.
Oh yeah, the law always looks at men and women differently, even though the law is supposed to be applied across the board evenly. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah. I think girls are given more of a pass than guys for doing crazy stuff.
But I feel like that's like there's like a pro and con of being men or women, and so like obviously being women, I guess we get to be a little more emotional, whereas men they get to be like more, what is it?
Go on.
She can't even think of it.
I won't say that women aren't emotional, but I think men are emotional. It just shows a little differently. And I think the reason why women may have a little bit more leniency towards their emotion is because if a man smashed somebody's car, the next thought that they're going to think, like, what are they going to do to me?
Right.
It's just like a fearful tactic because we haven't seen any women. The first thing that comes to my mind is this football player in the States. He literally picked up this woman, I don't know if it was wife, girlfriend, or whatever, and like threw her across the room like she was a rag doll. It's just like things like that I think comes like to mind when a man acts.
Because they know when a guy acts crazy for whatever reason, there's gonna be dire consequences if that dude is not neutralized immediately versus a chick. They might have a little bit of an easier time neutralizing her. At least that's how I understand it. I could be 100% wrong. If I am, just let me know in the comment section below. I think there's more consequences to a man, acting out of character and being crazy versus a woman. But let's continue.
Their emotion is at that level to where it's like crazy.
The thing is, I've seen a man do that to a woman, but I've seen a man do that to a woman after she has spat in his face, slapped him in his face and been like, what the fuck are you going to do? You can't do shit, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, just that physical action of him doing that will, in the general public's eyes, make him seem like the bad guy. And people will kind of negate what she done.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm saying, women get to act crazy.
Yeah, because no one's like, if a woman spits in a guy's face or slaps or punch on shit, they punch or slap a guy. People typically, if they see that in public, they're going to ask themselves, what did he do to make her do that? They're not going to say she's wrong. You see, they're not going to say she's wrong. They're going to be like, what did he do? They're going to still put the accountability on the man, even though she was the one who put hands on him first or blatantly disrespected him by spitting in his face first. Because most people, like, if you spit in their face, like, man or woman, they're going to want to fight you. That's from what I've seen, that's how it goes down.
And if a man responds to it, it's like, oh, look at him. It's like, did you not see all the shit that she done before that shit happened?
I don't like when women do that because I'm like, I don't like men hitting women, but it's like you've put yourself in that position. Like if you did that to a woman, she would retaliate the same way, but you did that to a man. And so when a man retaliates that same way, you wouldn't be like, you shouldn't hit women. Well, don't give him that leadway to retaliate in that way because you don't know what's inside a person until you put them in that position.
Right.
I feel that.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
No one should be hitting anyone.
At all.
You know what I mean?
Point
No
blank
one should be hitting
period.
anyone.
Like, whoever hits me, I'm hitting them back. I'm rocking them real hard.
And if you hit a man, a man can hit you back. You know, it's just that simple.
Do you guys?
If you're physically assaulted by anybody, like you have every right to defend yourself if you feel physically threatened by anybody, not just a man, not just a woman, anybody. I mean, are you gonna not attack? If a dog is charging at you about to bite you, are you just gonna stand there and let the dog bite you? No. You want to want that dog to. You're gonna figure out a way to get that dog the hell off you before it completely rips your arm up or something. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I agree with that.
I would
If you punch a guy, like he can punch you back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's just like completely unfair if like women are just like, and then what are these other men
Supposed to just stand there like,
take it?
Are they?
Also, when people see a woman beating on a man in public, they typically laugh at the dude and call him pussy. Let's keep it a buck.
They're supposed to process their emotions, like just sit there and be like.
and that's why a lot of men don't actually report domestic abuse towards them because they know it's not going to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a woman hit you. What are you going to say? It's like, no, but there are a lot of women out there, actually physically abusing men, and men are taking it because they kind of know that it's not going to be taken seriously.
That does bring up like the case.
Yeah.
What happened? I don't know that case.
Yeah.
So what was that actress's name?
I forget her name, but I remember the recordings.
It was just like, she I think she was just like abusive mentally and physically towards him. And I think
those tapes with her to Johnny Depp, like it clearly indicates how toxic Amber was towards him. And Johnny really didn't do much like in retaliation except, take it out on different objects, but not her specifically. I mean, she was the one who literally defecated on his bed and was punching him and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And even with those tapes out, people still was taking her side and making Johnny Depp look like the crazy one.
She filed a case against him being abusive towards her. But then I forget what exactly happened, but then obviously, like, he won the case.
But when she was abusing him, like, you could hear the recording. She was like, no one's going to believe you anyway. No one's going to believe you. They'll just, people are going to think that
Did
you're
he
the
win?
abuser.
He did.
Okay.
And, like, I think there were, like, some videos coming up, like, where she would just, like, randomly raise her hand and he'd, like, flinch. And it's, oh, man, it's just so sad. It was her and not him.
But that's not generally...
Not him at all.
That's generally believed, though.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's generally believed that it's going to be him. It's going to be the man that's going to be the abuser.
I think there was a moment where he kind of got blackballed in like the acting community or whatever because people actually believe.
Yeah, he lost a lot of acting jobs, man. Disney dropped him. Everybody turned their back on him when Amber Heard spoke first and said all the bullshit she said about Johnny. And everybody took it and ran with it, which makes them a bunch of cowards, if you ask me.
Yes, exactly.
Well, and that's the thing. I feel like when a girl accuses a guy of something, like people just automatically assume like what is it? believe all women. Believe all women. But I'm like, some of these girls are crazy. Like you can't believe all girls.
I've been accused of hitting a woman.
Really?
Yeah, I've been accused.
What happened in that case?
I've been accused of pushing a woman down 2 flights of stairs. I had to go to court for it.
Oh my God.
I got found not guilty. Okay. But it's just the fact that I was there, you were there. Yeah. There was no injuries. Like, what are you talking about? Like, we may have had an argument, right? But what are you talking about? But because women generally know they can call the police and be believed, they have to investigate. And I'm like,
but so what was her evidence?
There wasn't any. It was literally my word against hers. And so I got found. Right? Yeah, with that I got found not guilty because they. Yeah,
it's messed up. The court systems, even in the UK, does the same thing. Like, oh, okay, a woman said you did XYZ to her. Okay, let's go investigate. Let's take you to court. Da 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 da. And then you find out. Then that's when you find out she has no physical evidence of her being physically assaulted or anything like that. Just if there's no bruises, there's no nothing. There's no video, no audio recording, no nothing. What do you have? You don't have a case anymore. I would understand why they would throw it out, but why wait till then to throw out the case if she didn't have any evidence up front? That's what bothers me.
They only deliberated for like 10 minutes, and they were like, "No.
That's just so like disrespectful to like all women that have been
exactly."
Thank you.
And then it's just like. Oh, it's just so disappointing.
It devalues what they say. They actually like for women to even have the courage to stand up because it's very like frowned upon on different like aspects.
And it's so hard. Yeah,
it is hard. It's so hard as an individual to stand up and be like, "This is what happened to me," and actually stand up against to prosecute another person for what they did to you, and they don't get found guilty because of women that do lie and exaggerate their situation for their own benefit. And do you know what I mean? And it looks bad on other women that actually do go through.
But the thing is, the reason why I could.
Yeah, man, it's anytime a chick lies about being abused, raped, or physically assaulted by someone and it didn't actually happen, that's going to make it harder for women who actually go through that and have to deal with the trauma and have to live with that scar on them for the rest of their lives. And when they go to court, like she said, their cases get thrown out by because so many women are coming up, lying about this whole thing, and then so many people want to pretend this is not what it is, but this is what it is. This is destroying a lot of men's lives. So yeah, a lot of men's lives because we're the ones that have to really flip the bill for all this shit. Let's continue.
Can be accused like me, like okay, I'm 6'2", I'm black. Man,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's easy to believe that I'm always going to be the aggressor. Do you know what I mean? And so
was it? Can I ask what race you're?
They were black. It was a black woman.
Young black woman.
Yeah, it was a black woman. And so, but she's a woman. And so she's going to believe all women, right? She's going to be believed, right? And it's like, well, if I have like no history of abusing women and that this just comes out of the blue, for me, I know I'm like, what are you talking about? But it doesn't matter. That really doesn't matter.
Well, and they can't undo the character assassination. Like there might be people that like believe, like there was a case where a dude was, a girl said that she was assaulted by him and it came out that she lied, but like you can't undo everyone on campus thinking he was a rapist for like great, I gotta say great, but like for great because you can't say
great
for 2 years because or however long the trial is.
Yeah, that does.
And so
has there ever been a case where the guy sues like the woman for defamation?
I don't know, but I know there was a case in America where a woman said that a guy raped her. And she but it came to find out that she dreamt it.
Oh,
it was a case that she dreamt it, but he actually went to prison for it.
Really?
He went to prison for rape. Yeah.
But how did they find out she dreamt? Like
because I think afterwards he appealed and have you heard of it? Yeah, like she dreamt it.
Did she actually believe it happened to her though?
I don't know.
I don't believe it. I bet she just knew.
They must have looked into her psychology.
Yeah,
she must have gone to a psychiatric unit. She would have got evaluated if that was.
I mean, that's crazy how a woman can dream about a man raping her, and they'll actually take that to court. That is insane. Just from bruh. That's a case like that. If you ask me, should have immediately been thrown out.
What's the case? That would have been the procedure.
Do you think that she was like too far? Like she started saying it, and she realized it was a dream, and she was like too far in it, and she couldn't. She like was too embarrassed to take it back.
I don't know, but I think she should go to jail. I think any girl that like does that should go to jail.
Even if you retract because you're like, oh, I'm sorry, like it was my mistake.
But remember though, like when those kind of cases happen, we know the man.
We
don't know the woman.
You're right.
Like everything is put out about the man. He's in the press, he's in the papers, he's on social media. He was accused of this thing, and it's like, who's the woman? No one knows.
But I think
different.
nowadays they do know who the woman is because they do tell like both stories.
But her character is not assassinated like his. It's
That's
like
true.
a man. If a
they don't drag women through the mud to the court of public opinion like they do men. But that's the lack of. They would never. I don't think I've ever seen that happen in a case like this where a woman will come back saying she was lied about being great, and then she gets dragged through the mud. People are still silent on that because believe all women. Most people, a lot of people are still on that train. To be honest, it's like a slow turnaround, but still, they can still use that believe all women card to bail themselves out for lack of accountability.
If a man is accused of anything like that, he's finished. It doesn't even matter if he did it or not.
Yeah.
He's finished.
But couldn't you argue the other way where they do like say like, oh, this woman like she does go out drinking, she likes to wear all this and this, she like barely wears any clothes, wear high heels.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you should be like.
Well, obviously, but I mean, wouldn't you say like they're like, what is it? The media is basically trying to blame the women.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's why when I hear that men have been accused of something like this, I just wait for all the evidence to come out. I'm not saying he did it, didn't do it. I'm not saying she's lying, that she's not lying. I'm just like, let me just wait to see. But people generally, there was a case in the UK last year. There was a woman. I actually spoke about it. There was an old lady who killed her husband. Right? She was like Penelope Jackson was her name. Penelope Jackson. She killed her husband, and when the police came, and because they had their body cameras and they filmed it, she was so nonchalant. She was like, "Yeah, he deserved it. He was an abuser, and he done this and blah blah blah." And because she said that, all the women just jumped to her defense. Yeah, she must have been going through so much. She must have been pushed to the edge. Come to find out, when it got to a jury, she got 18 years for killing him because she was lying. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter. It's the fact that she said it, and women just believed her. Yeah, and that's that. Well, do you know what I mean? That's that. And yeah, you're now guilty.
I mean, that's good that she got 18 years for killing her husband, but it should have been more. If you ask me, but the fact that they believed her off the rip is very telling.
Yeah, until you're proven innocent when something like that happens.
Or even with that, like Supreme Court justice of the U.S. What was it? Do you know what I'm talking about? The Supreme Court justice a couple years back, where that girl like came out and said he assaulted her in college.
Yeah, she's talking about Brett Kavanaugh.
Right as he became he was nominated for the court.
Yes, and I forget his name though.
And the media like painted him as such a bad guy, but if you watch the full like interrogation and like the trial and stuff, they found nothing on him, and the whole world, like they see him as a rapist.
Well, the president of the United States currently has a allegation against him from a woman called Tara Reid, and we haven't even heard about it. Tara Reid, Joe Biden has been accused by a woman named Tara Reid of digitally inserting his fingers in her while he was in office. That's the case. No one hears about it.
Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, they've really done a good job in this video exposing the lack of accountability a lot of women get when they the thing men of comes back to haunt them. Pause that. They really did a good job on that video exposing what women can typically get away with when they accuse a man of XYZ, any type of abuse, rape, this, that, and the other. And, most people are going to believe them off the rip. They're going to take their word. And then once the truth comes out, what's crazy is they don't get anywhere near the same amount of backlash as a man would when he's the one being accused. He has to be dragged to the mud and lose his jobs, lose his money, lose his wife, lose his kids, lose his house, cars, everything. Like people, I'm glad more and more people are seeing this for what it is now. It's like a slow but sure process. But anyways, what do you guys think about this video? Do you agree with me? Do you agree with Pearl on the panel? Did they make some pretty good points, or were they off somewhere? Let's talk about it in the comment section. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.